Thank you for making it through that previous video. Now there's more for you to see. And just a quick disclaimer about some of the things that I'm going to present. And I did not want to change any of the presentation material because I want to keep us authentic as possible. And of course, this is going to be a journey about what I'm passionate about, Adidas, and how this specific shoes kind of changed the way I live in a sense. And so I'm going to go into it, and I want to further expand what nothing impossible is nothing, um, unlike the previous video, unfortunately. And I think to expand on that, for me, that statement means that there's no such thing that's too out there, too far fetched, and I believe Adidas is able to take various steps to go above what people should shelter Adidas as. And so I'm going to continue with this presentation and hope you can enjoy. All right. NMDs, the past empowers the future. Here, my name. And that is what MMDs, the first MMD looked like with the prime nets. So how I got started was I didn't care for shoes in the past. I only wore shoes what my parents got me. And then one day I saw these shoes, and it was probably the most phenomenal shoes that made me turn my neck and break my neck. And I was just like, I need to get these. And this is more than what I want. I just need these. And after checking online and going to a lot of stores, I can't find them. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Are these shoes even real? And I started going to resale websites, and I was like, as a high schooler, there's no way I can afford this. So I got to find a way to build connection and figure out how I can get these for a retail price. And of course, I started looking into complex videos, a lot of sneaker related videos. And a main reason for this passion project was to clap back at this classmate of mine who presented strictly on Nike and Jordan. I was like, I feel like Adidas is doing way more than Nike and Adidas at this time, or Nike and Jordan at this time, sorry. So of course, like everything, at this time, everyone loved Supreme, and they were able to do a collab with Nike, and Nike started with Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman, and obviously everyone knows about the Blue Ribbon Sports. And, shoes back in the day was just simply rubber, some kind of design. And now it has a lot of technology. And with Nike, they did their Air Max. And I'm not going to go into the 5 W's because that's very high schooly, but I'm going to take you on a journey of how I went from what these shoes I want to what these are. And with the background in track and field and some cross country, I foresee that athleisure was ultimately what the future would look like. And little did we know the pandemic was coming. So in the presentation, I did a lot of lists, and I'm trying to avoid that in this specific presentation, and it's kind of reflect on how I viewed it in 2017 to now. And I kind of give people an understanding of the trifoil, the logo that was used until 1997 to what we see modern day. And then at the time, they're still pushing the Neo DS, which is more of a future series. And I made a class guess which MMD stood in terms of, and of course, it was the original. And let's go into history. And obviously, you guys know way more than me. And so I want to just emphasize on the founder, Mr. Dassler, who was like made shoes out of the laundry room of his mom's house. And another significant was the shoes he made for Jesse Owens, the 4-goal medalist winner in Berlin that pissed off at the time Adolf Hitler. And some significance that I thought was the foundation of Adidas is that just looking at these spikes, it looks very much like the modern spikes. Despite how much technology we have now, these are obviously made of goat skin. The insole is made of chrome splits, and the outsole with spike plates that are made of vegetable tan leather. And you can just see, just looking at this design, you can see how high the quality is, and definitely they were envisioning that these shoes are be meant to wear for 20 plus years. And unfortunately, after his passing and a split relationship with his brother, who later founded Puma, his wife took over and Adidas went public in 1995. So let's get into MDs. Designer, Nick Galloway. And some of the things that stood out for me is how do you incorporate things that are present? I feel a lot of people, especially seniors at this time, we were thinking about the future. And a lot of us looking in the past like, oh, this person did this in the past. And so having everything idea built around one single shoe was really fascinating. And some of the things that attributes of these shoes they envision was durability, strength, flexibility, shock resistant, and ultimately, what does it look like to be a metropolitan nomad? And they used 80s future thinking, very much like your Futurama things of in Seattle, the Space Needle, and they try to redefine all that. And obviously, with culture, where Adidas is heavily infiltrated since the beginning of the sneaker world with Run DMC, and then more contemporary Pusha T, Kanye, Pharrell. I'm at Ye as of 2022, and even Ninja. So little do we foresee that Adidas was on top of this trend of connecting their brand with their culture, and most importantly, innovation, because that's gonna push sneakers forward. And then we get the three different aspects that they look into for the MMD, which short for Nomad, the micro pacer, which was then essentially a step counter that nowadays you get on your phone and your smartwatches. The rising star, where they got the block inspiration, and then in order to honor the Boston bombing, the Boston Supers. So they try to create something with all these rich culture and rich history, and just the remembrance of those who passed away on the legendary Boston Marathon, which Adidas still sponsors to this day. And so we get this, the silhouette of this prime MD, and some of the materials are in here. I'm not going to go into it, but the top right is one of the first socks that dropped with a circle in front of the midfoot. And I remember I was really cool and I want to wear it. And I realized that those around me need to rock too. So I gave it to my brother. And of course, at this time, the breaking technology was thermoplastic pyrithium, which is little plastic beans that they melt together, and you melt them together, create it into a sole, and that ultimately becomes the energy return things that they have. And I remember seeing videos of you dropping a metal ball onto like a flat surface and then to Ultra Boost. When you drop an Ultra Boost, it bounces way up. So I just thought, wow, that's gonna really change the way we walk, we run, and shoe technology going forward. And so I was really broke, and what happened was I realized that there is no way I can beat the bots on Adidas website, or I can wake up early enough. And so I started reaching out to Nordstrom Men's Shoes, and I managed to form connection. It took a long time, and I was still really hesitant, and I was pretty cheap and broke at the time. So I kind of helped my friends secure the first two MND 2.0s and the earlier waves of MNDs. And these are all the other shoes that Ultra Boost incorporated. I'm not going to bore you and explain what they are, but at this time, Ultra Boost was a big thing, and it was very sought after. And something that just really made the whole thing, made me want these shoes is the aesthetic. Really slim, looks very comfortable. Feel like you're wearing socks, you're cozy, you can dress up and dress down. And I think the simplicity and the vision behind the shoes was something that just was astounding to me. And obviously there are different types of MDs, MDR ones, the leather, I'm not going to bore you with the colorways, but these are things, the varieties they have. And I think for collaboration, and I think that's what really inspired me. Who would have thought Adidas would have the collaboration with Babe and Abe, such a legendary street file from Japan with Pharrell, who was essentially killing in the music game with Mastermind, another legendary Japanese design. and then Cool Kicks, and then even European exclusive. I thought when Adidas say they collaborate, they really mean it. They go out of their way to try and hit different target markets. And with all these partnership, that really inspired me to be hopefully part of the Three Strike family. And of course, at this time, I thought this was the future of NMDs, and I respect the materials, and then I'm really excited for what Adidas had to come. And at the end of it, I made my classmate actually go and figure out some of the attributes of shoes they would love and components that they would love their shoes to have. And just doing this kind of helped me give me a glimpse of what different people want, and because everyone wants different things, and the end of the goal is to have a mass appeal with your product so there's more sales and everyone will rock them, and you want something that's cool and hyped. And I thought the shoes have it all, and I'm excited to see what Adidas have going forward.